title? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just asking. I'm just at the title, the king. I'm sure it's gonna be. I can't wait to watch it. I know the series gonna be great. ESPN, we do our thing with that. It's the title that I got an issue with right there.
Okay.
I mean.
Stephen A., I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you brought up the Super Bowl, because that's really where I want to go when we're looking at the teams like Philly and KC. Which team's more likely to return to the Super Bowl? Swaggo, you kick this one off. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I heard Stephen A. already say the Eagles for me too. And look, the NFC there's less to go through. I still have a healthy respect for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and you just play the numbers. Like we've seen this era in which Patrick Mahomes is doing it, this is a high-level quarterback era, and he continues to beat these guys, but you just would think sheer numbers. At some point, somebody will get them and represent the AFC. I think the Eagles are still the best team in the NFC. I think the roster is still the best. I think the quarterback is perfect for what they do and playing at a high level, even though people don't want to give him credit. This young defense showed you what they could potentially be week in and week out. So I think the Eagles have the best chance. I think the Eagles still I think they'll be in position to get a first round bye. The Commanders obviously will be a challenge for them. I believe that Jayden continues to ascend. But Philly to me has the easier route because it's less wars and attrition in that conference, man.
Swagoo, everything you said about the Philadelphia Eagles is true, but I will counter with this. It's hard to eat when you're full. And you mentioned all the young guys on the defensive side of the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles. And make no mistake, that is the identity of that team. You're talking about second, third, fourth-year players. The worst thing that can happen to you in football and in life is for everybody to be patting you on the back and telling you how good you are. Your former coach, Nick Saban, used to always call it rat poison. Don't take the cheese. You remember hearing that from him and Bill Parcells? That's what it is.
Yo, coach Bill.
So while I believe in the sports character of Jalen Hurts, you still have to contend with those guys going through an entire offseason with already being crowned as the team to beat. So there is that element. Saquon Barkley, rush for over 2,000 yards. That's not going to happen again. How do I know that? Because there have been 8 other running backs in NFL history to do that. In the following seasons, those guys have averaged 966 fewer rushing yards. So I'm not quite sure that we can have that same level of productivity from the Eagles year over year. I still think they're the team to beat in their division. I still think they're contenders. But if I got to pick between the two, I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs have a better chance of getting back there because confidence comes from demonstrated performance, and I've seen that group do it every single year.
Demonstrated performance. Philadelphia Eagles been in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. And they just
that ain't the same as 5 of the last 6. Stephen A., that ain't the same as 5 of the last 6.
Yo, are you a Janet Jackson fan? Are you a Janet Jackson fan? I still am to this very day. What have you done for me lately? Okay? I'm thinking about the last 3 years. Don't give me the last 5, 6 years. How about the last 3? Eagles been in 2 of them. Both them and the Kansas City Chiefs got titles to show for it. I'm going to go with that. That's number 1. Number 2, the road to prosperity is a bit more difficult in the AFC in my estimation. That's what I'm looking at. Can we sit here honestly, CC and Swagoo, and say that there's any excuse whatsoever outside of the Herculean excellence of a Patrick Mahomes? Can we honestly say there's a legitimate excuse for the Baltimore Ravens not to be coming out of the AFC for the Super Bowl this year with what they got on their squad? They loaded. We saw Buffalo and what Josh Allen could do. We know what Cincinnati could do offensively and how they could put up buckets like we just said. We can't summarily dismiss Denver right now with the way that they're looking, how elite their defense is expected to be. You got Harbaugh with the Chargers. You got C.J. Stroud and them brothers in Houston. I mean, the road in the AFC is no joke. That's what I'm looking.
Conversation about the best in the game, and we talk about the slide or the regression that we're potentially seeing from the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, whether or not he's the best quarterback, best player on the face of the planet. Let's keep in mind Tom Brady's words. Even though Patrick Mahomes has gone back-to-back years without throwing 30 touchdowns, this is a guy that's accounted for over 25 wins in the regular season. He's accounted for 25 wins in the regular season, 6 playoff wins in 7 playoff games. All right? That's what he was able to do. So while we start talking about the individual statistics, individual productivity, what matters most is, do you put your team in position to win football games? And that's the standard that we should judge all quarterbacks by.
Yeah, listen, but the caveat is it's difficult, and everybody not willing to do it, right? And I think what Brady was talking about is something that's uncharacteristic of the human, period, right? You think about him, you think about MJ, you think about Bron, you think about Nick Saban, longevity over time, and never getting satisfied with thinking you're good enough. It's something that's synonymous with these type of dudes that we talk about. And to your point, CC, Mahomes is trending in that direction. But when you hear Tom Brady say that, what it should tell every young quarterback, what it should tell people is, if you do it, it gives you a chance. The beautiful thing about sports, you ain't never guaranteed to win nothing, no matter how much work you put in. There is never a guarantee. And the beautiful thing about pro sports is, for the majority, most guys are working their ass off to try to win it. But dudes like this, they become different because they never stop. It's every single day. Tom Brady played 23 years in the NFL because Tom Brady probably thought every year he could win a Super Bowl. He probably thought every year he could be the best quarterback because of the type of work and the type of attention to detail that he was putting in that people are not willing to do every single day. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, Stephen A might not remember this conversation, but he told me when I first started doing First Take, I will never forget this, pulled me in the office, and he told me, he said, listen, there's 2 things in this business you gotta understand. You gotta show up and you gotta know what the hell you doing. I will never, that has carried me since I started working with him on First Take. And I've had sound and phenomenal advice from everybody. But the one thing that is synonymous, and Stephen A, I put you in that category in television, bro. You are one of the greatest television personalities to ever grace the screen. I don't care what people say in this day and age, whatever. I know that. But I know when you pulled me in the room and told me that day, that it was consistent, because, and you know why? And